Hey guys, welcome to what I've learned this week. This week I'm going to talk about something I like to call deletion. And it's something that I've been thinking about a lot recently in relation to the people and my situations. And it's funny, I started talking about it to a couple of friends and they were like, oh, I do that, or I think I suffer from that. And it made me think maybe there's more people out there than I realized doing this, so I thought I'd talk about it. Deletion, to explain it in my terms, is basically when you're in a situation, say for example, let's use everyone's favorite example, if you're dating someone and there are things about that person that you really don't like, or they're doing things that are telling you more than you want to see, and you delete them. It's like, he doesn't ever really call me back, but I'll just delete that because he's super handsome and he drives a nice car, or he's got a terrible sense of humor, but I'm going to delete that because he totally loves me. This is dangerous, and it doesn't just happen with dating. It happens with work. Like, you might get a new job and you might really love the pay and you might really love the work environment, but you don't like the way that the boss is, or the boss is controlling, or you have a couple of people that you work with that you don't agree with their morals, and that affects you, but you delete it when you first get there because you're like, I want this job, I want this job. It can happen with the city you live in. Can be major things you don't like about it, but you need to stay there. There are so many roommates, all of these things. We choose to delete certain information to serve us in that moment because we're carried away. And one of the biggest problems for me is if I meet a new person and I will delete certain things they're doing to serve the story that I'm telling about them. Like, they're so fun and lovely and great, and I'm just going to delete the fact that they don't ever listen to me, or I'm going to delete the fact that they text late at night. Little things that tell you way more than you might want to know, but we delete them because we don't want to know that. Now, why do we delete things? Sometimes we can delete them because we really like someone, or we really like a situation and we don't want to see the truth. Often we delete things because we think someone's going to change. And we also delete things because we think that won't bother me. It won't bother me that they smoke eventually. I'll get used to it. I gotta tell you guys, the truth is, if something bothers you in the honeymoon period of whatever it is you're doing, new work, new job, new roommate, if it sort of bothers you, but you're gonna push it away, I can promise you, once everybody's on their best behavior moment passes, it's gonna bother you even more, and you won't be able to keep it to yourself, and it's gonna come out and it's gonna be messy. And if you really think someone's gonna change, the truth is, people don't really change. I mean, we can grow, and that's one of the most beautiful things about beautiful, great relationships, is that people grow together and they take something from another person and learn. But you should never, ever get into a relationship or a situation going, I can change them, and if I do, it will be better. So don't delete that thing if you think it will get better because you'll change it. So what's the solution? How do we stop deleting? Well, this is my solution at the moment, my current solution that is helping me. I have decided and committed to writing down all the things that I'm deleting about somebody or something as I'm going through the process. And this isn't easy to do, and it can kind of be a bit depressing sometimes, because let's take the example of meeting someone that you like. Say I meet a guy and I really like him, but I'm deleting a whole lot of stuff. The minute I start writing it down, I can't ignore it anymore. I have to be real and I have to be honest. But it's so much better to be honest with yourself up front and save yourself the heartbreak later when all those things that you were deleting suddenly come out to you and come out in a big fight or something like that. So it's not easy, but I suggest taking, a work situation and going, these are things that I currently don't like, that I know I'm pushing out of my brain. Or here's a guy or a girl that I've met and I don't like the fact that she does this or does that. I'm going to write it down. Now, this can work one of two ways. You can find out, unfortunately, major deal breakers that end a situation, or it can just make you aware that this is going on. I know it's going on, but I really like them, or I really like the situation. So I'm just going to be aware and watch myself and see when it becomes a deal breaker, or whether I can learn to live with it because this gets better. It just makes you aware. It means it's not going to come out in a fight, or it's not going to come and like surprise you one day when you've had enough and you're tired and exhausted. You were always aware. Now, one of the times when it became a deal breaker for me was a while back. I was really interested in someone and I thought they were fantastic and great and there was a lot of potential. But when I looked at what I was deleting, one of the things was he is a smoker. Now, that's a deal breaker for me, a big deal breaker. And from the minute I met him, I was like, Georgia, he smokes, what are you doing? But because he was so great and so promising, I deleted it for a while. Now, he and I were talking about this, actually, last night in this discussion of deletion, because we're now friends. And he was like, I feel like you did that right from the start, though. Like, you wrote that list, which I can understand. No one wants to feel like they're having a list written about them. But here's the truth. If I had not written that list, or if I'd not been real with myself, whether it's a list, whether it's a conversation to yourself, whether it's meditating, and I'd continue down that path and grown to like him more and find out more about him and he'd like me more, and then in 6 months, in a year, I go, you know what? I can't do it. You smoke. I can't do this. It's over. Isn't that going to hurt a lot more than realizing it up front? And I said that to him, and we kind of agreed that it's better to know this stuff up front, even though it's kind of clinical to write this stuff down. It's better to know up front rather than deleting it. Another great example is my ex, wonderful, incredible, fantastic human being. For the entire year relationship, I deleted the fact that he lived 10,000 miles away from me. I kept on telling myself it was going to change or it would get better. But it doesn't. And then a year later, you have to say goodbye to someone you love, where it would have been easier, not as fun, but easier to be real at the front and be like, you're amazing and wonderful, but I can't delete the fact that you don't live with me, or even an ocean divides us. So I would challenge you guys to look at the situations in your life that you're feeling conflicted about. You often feel these conflictions and you don't know why. It's probably because you're deleting something that's like eating at you around here. So take a look. If you meet someone new and you really like them, but there's things that are confusing you, just take a second to write down what those things are. Just say, oh, I'm deleting the fact that they don't always call me back when they say they're going to. I'm deleting the fact that they seem to have a money conversation. I'm deleting the fact that they're often getting texts late at night from other people that they won't, that they get secretive about. These are little warning signs that you might want to just be aware of so that it doesn't come and surprise you later. So go on, look at your life, take some time, write it down, see what you find. And I'm not saying you need to act on the information unless you find a deal breaker, like I did in one situation. Just be aware. And it's all about being honest with yourself. I think when you're honest with yourself and honest with others, as we learned from last week, things become a lot clearer. You feel a lot better about things, and although it's not as fun as exciting sometimes, it's better in the long run. So, good luck with discovering where you're deleting in your life. I think we all do it, so don't feel bad about it. I know I do. I do it all the time, and I'm trying not to. So I'm going to continue writing my list. You continue writing, or start writing your list, and I hope that you find out some really valuable things about people in your life and about yourself. Have a wonderful week. I hope it brings you much happiness and joy, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time because I'm disappearing for a week next week to do lots of reading, writing, and thinking about stuff in the sunshine and on the beach. Have a great week, guys.